is our site at Dairy Springs Campground in the Coconino Forest of Arizona. We have site number 11, and it's a pull through. It's very nice and level. We have lots of shade trees. And there's no one on this side really, so I have lots of room to walk blue. Look at this little grove of oak trees. We not only have the big ponderosa pines, but we've got all these oak trees. Look at this old one right here. It's so tall. And over on this side of our camp, we have another grove of oak. There's just lots of shade here, which is good. This is the front of our campsite. They have restrooms down there, not too far, but we don't need them, but they're very, very clean. And then beyond that are dumpsters. And there's lots of little paths to walk through. Most of the sites here are very tiny. They're, I would say most of them are better for tents. I don't know that you could get a camper in any of these sites that's bigger than our pod. But number 11 is a nice pull through. We didn't have any problem getting in here and leveling. It's just a really, really nice site.
Smokey the Bear, be careful with fire. So true. If you're camping anywhere in the forests of Arizona, please be very careful. Put out your campfires and check for fire restrictions. It is very dry here. We stayed at Dairy Springs for 4 nights and had a wonderful, peaceful time. We also visited Mormon Lake and Lake Mary, which I'll show in a different video. Here we're going to go for a little hike. There were a couple trails through the campground and also around the campground, including a section of the Arizona Trail, which we'll get up to in a few minutes. So Old Man and I got blue, and we took this little path from our campsite that led over to a road here. And this road led to the amphitheater. So we're going to walk up there and take a look at that, and then we're going to take a short loop around the campground.
See if we can find the amphitheater.
Here's the entrance to the little trail that leads up to the amphitheater. I think every U.S. Forest Service campground has an amphitheater of some kind. So we're going to walk up this beautiful trail, nice and shady. Oh, here's Blue. He has to sniff. They always got to stop and sniff. So here's the amphitheater, and they had nice metal seating, bench seating. and a screen, probably where they do projections for presentations. Nice little area. There was a sign that said they had Wi-Fi, but I couldn't get a signal on my phone. In fact, the whole time we were here, we did not have any Wi-Fi signal or even Verizon cell signal. We had to drive out to Mormon Lake Road and park at an overlook to check email and call and things like that.
Here's the trailhead. Let's see, Mormon Mountain Trailhead. Mormon Lake Trail System. This is part of the Arizona Trail. And the Arizona Trail is a 790 non-motorized trail traversing the entire state of Arizona. The trail is open to hikers, equestrian, and mountain bikers, except where prohibited. Trail users need to be responsible for their own safety and preparedness. In some cases, route finding skills and the ability to cope with unexpected situations such as weather, natural hazards, venomous creatures, and lack of water are essential. So let's see. It starts way down here at the U.S.-Mexico border and comes all the way up past Tucson, all the way up past Roosevelt Lake, and here would be Payson. Comes all the way, here's Mormon Lake, here's where we are right now. It's all the way up around Flagstaff, continues up to the Grand Canyon. I think maybe the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and then goes all the way up to the Utah-Arizona state border. So here, we're going to get on the Arizona Trail, and then we can say we hiked on the Arizona Trail. So, let's see, Dairy Springs Loop, 0.2 miles. Arizona Trail, 0.4 miles. And Mormon Mountain Summit, 3 miles up.
We're not going to head up to Dairy Springs Loop or to the Arizona Trail. We're just going to take this short little hike that goes across the top of the campground. You can even see a camper at one of the sites. So we're very close to the campground. We're just going to walk through the part of the forest here and then walk back through the middle of the campground and take a look at some of the other campsites.
Tiny black bugs here too that bite. Little tiny things. You wouldn't even think you'd feel the bite, but you do. Look at all that fallen timber. Life in old growth. How old is old? between 200 and 500 years for a ponderosa pine. At around 150 to 100, around 120 to 150 years old, the black bark of the ponderosa pine changes to a yellowish red color and forms flat plates. When the cracks on these yellow pines warm, they emit a fragrant vanilla-like scent. And this shows you some of the wildlife that enjoys the old growth forest. Here's the old ponderosa yellow pine. Old gambel oak. There's so many oaks here.
We arrive at the top loop of the campground and will follow the campground road back to our site, Site 11. There are about 30 sites here at Dairy Springs. And just remember, there are no services, there's no electric, no sewer, no water. They do have water spigots, but you're not allowed to fill your RV. We stopped at Pine Grove Campground on Lake Mary Road and were able to fill up our RV with fresh water, delicious well water. Although we didn't drink it, we did shower with it. It was very nice, soft water. And I think it was only $5 to fill up our 30-gallon tank. And then on our way home, we stopped back at Pine Grove Campground and we dumped our tanks at their dump station. And I think that fee was $12. So here we're going to walk back down from the top of the campground back down to our site. And along the way, you can see some of the sites that are a little bit larger and can probably fit a travel trailer, maybe a Class C van camper, things like that. I think we found site 28, 29, and 24 to be pretty nice and long and level. So let's take a walk through and look at some of the sites up here at the top of the campground. Dairy Springs Campground is somewhat remote. I think if you need to pick up some supplies, there are some little stores on Mormon Lake Road down on the southern and eastern side of Mormon Lake. But other than that, you would have to drive up further on Lake Mary Road back towards Flagstaff. There is a little shop up there. And then anything else, you'd have to go into Flagstaff to shop. It was really nice the 4 days we stayed here at Dairy Springs. We didn't buy anything and didn't spend any money. So it was just a really rustic, remote adventure for us. I would say most of the sites that are large enough to fit RVs or travel trailers are pretty well spaced. Some of the tent sites are pretty close together, so they do have a lot of trees though that screen the sites, so you're not don't really feel like you're right on top of your neighbor. There are vault restrooms throughout the campsite, and here is space 18, which looks like another good sized pull through. And there are also a lot of water spigots throughout the campground. The thing with the pull throughs is you have to drive through the campground, go up to that upper loop where we got off the trail, and then come back down towards the entrance to get into a pull through because you'd want your campsite of your travel trailer or Class C on the forest side, not on the road side. So that's just something to keep in mind with the pull throughs. So here we're walking back, and there's our pod in the distance.
Blue had a little bath this morning, didn't you, Blue? Because you were so full of forest dirt and so itchy. Now he feels a lot better. Here's our pod, camping out. Getting ready for the day. I found something pretty interesting and I'm gonna have some fun with it. I have these flowers on our picnic tables when we go camping. And I forgot that inside I had used some painted rocks that my granddaughters had made a couple years ago to weight down the pail. So I thought it would be fun, since I enjoy finding these painted rocks, that I would hide these two somewhere around this campground. So this one here has a little sun on it, and it says, "Have a good day." I think right at the bottom of this big oak tree is the perfect place for this one. Right, make a little spot, and we'll kind of shade it or conceal it a little bit. There. So someone will stumble on this who camps here after us. Okay, let's just take a little walk through the campground. It's very quiet here. It's a Wednesday morning, but I noticed a lot of the sites are reserved for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's the drinking water spigot. You can't fill your RV, wash your hair, take a shower, or wash your dishes, or wash your pet, but you can fill your container and take it back to your campsite. Here's site 9 and 8. They're both reserved for the weekend. And here's the little fence. That's the boundary of the campground. On the north side here. And this, I think, is a road that goes up to some houses back in there. So here's just a look of some of the spots over this way. And this tree log is so cool. I'm going to hide my last painted rock up here. And it says, "Oh, happy day." And then on the other side it says, "Jesus loves you." I'm going to hide it right in here. And we'll see if someone comes along and discovers it. Maybe sometime we'll be able to come back here and I'll check this spot and see if anyone's found it. There we go. All right, let's head back. This is cool. They have the stumps and a big rock around the fire pit. Wow, look at these daisies. They are gorgeous. It's beautiful wildflowers brightening our day. More little baby oak sprouts. There's so many oak trees in this area. Not just the big ponderosa pines, but a lot of oak. Okay, let's see. We go this way around the campsite here. I'm gonna walk right through it. They have it all cleaned up. Take this little path over here. There's another big log that was left. I think that's a really cool feature of this campground, that they left those big logs. They didn't cut them up and use them for firewood. They just left them. I think it enhances the beauty. And I think the kids have fun playing on them too. There's our pod nestled in the oaks. We had to park our truck a little bit differently yesterday, because yesterday morning we came out and the windshield was covered with sap. These oaks drip sap in the morning. So way over here, there's no sap on the truck today. Here we are back at camp after a little fun adventure. Okay, it's time to say goodbye to Dairy Springs Campground and Mormon Lake and Lake Mary. We're heading back to the hot, hot desert. But we really enjoyed our stay up here in the cool forest. See you next time. And remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, leave that place better than the way you found it. Bye for now.